Hey guys, it's your girl Laisha, aka GeekXX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Mercy for None. We're now on to episode 2. So the last episode, we got a lot of information about the world we were dumped into. We got introduced to our main character, who is Nam Gi-jun, and we found out he was a real badass type assassin in the day. He retired after a pretty brutal injury, and that his brother was unfortunately taken out last episode, and it looks like there was some foul play involved and nobody really wants to talk about what happened. So we see that he is now in the process of trying to figure out what happened, and he's starting at the bottom, which is the people who attacked him, to his knowledge, which was a bunch of younger kids first. But we see through a flashback we got at the end of the episode that there was another person who interacted with Gi-suk, yes, Gi-suk, right before, or at least possibly right before he died. So the plot is still developing here, but we got some really good action scenes already, so I'm excited to jump into this one. So let's do that. Just before I do though, if you'd like to know when I drop episodes, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. And if you'd like to watch a full uncut version of this reaction, you can do so on my Patreon. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now.
괜찮으세요? 이 기준이가 왔다 갔어. 남기준.
No, the other Gi-jun.
자기 동생이 그렇게 허무하게 죽었는데 그게 이상한 질문인가?
And you said you wanted to be your successor.
많이 서운하셨을 텐데. 아시잖아요, 저 오지랖 넓은 거.
Okay, so he did give him his answer.
기석이 진짜 애들 짓인지 아닌지 알아봐.
I don't know who you're talking to right now, sir, but this dude does not respect you. Nam Gi-jun, that takes me back. What does that mean? That sounded personal, like maybe Gi-jun kicked your ass and you're still salty about it. That's what it's giving.
주은 소속의 갤러리를 직접 운영하면서 주은 그룹의 자금 세탁을 하는 것으로
Most
보고
likely,
있고요.
yes.
좀 더 거슬러 올라가 보면
Something of service? I can't read that in the back.
과거 서울을 장악했던 범영등파가 양분되며 생긴 세력입니다. 당시
Not the Crips and the Bloods.
이 일로 검경소 옷 벗은 인간이 몇이나 되는 줄 알아?
I don't. Oh, sitting up now.
경찰 팔아먹지 말고.
Exactly.
확실하냐고.
Please, we're dealing with gangs.
뭐 확실
Shh, don't talk.
집에서도 인간 병풍 취급인데.
At home.
아직도 저한테 마킹이 있습니까?
Yes.
그런 생각해 본 적은 없습니다.
그래?
Really?
여기 사람들은 다 그렇게 생각하던데.
Look.
그렇다고 주운으로 가자니 반기는 사람도 없고. 맞지?
하시고 싶은 말씀이
I think he's saying it pretty clearly.
노선 확실히 정해서 제대로 올라갈 기회.
Turn on his family of gangsters?
오케이.
Oh, English. Aliba, come on, quickly.
아저씨 혹시 무덤방이라고 알아?
Ajishi?
무덤방이라고 있어. 나 같은 가출팸 부려먹고 뽀찌주는 그런 방.
Okay.
근데 이번에 나 진짜 아무것도 몰랐어. 위치만 주고 가서 죽이라는데. 근데 나야 누군지는 중요한 게 아니니까.
Okay.
쟤들이 변호사 하나 붙여줬거든.
Mm-hmm.
잡아서 직접 물어봐.
Her.
불러줄게.
Okay.
변호사님. 내가
I hate this kid, but you deserve that.
아무튼 잔금은 바로 넣어주시고.
The remaining balance, she said. Yeah. Hi. This is why you lock your doors.
형이야. 죽은 남기죠.
I like it. Honest and to the point.
현직 변호사 상대로 협박이라도 하겠다 이건가?
Do your family instead.
협박받을 짓이라도 했나?
Exactly. Thank you for talking too much.
건 베타 구함 공지 띄울게요.
Okay, so she runs the graveyard? I mean, that makes sense.
내가 아는 거는 진짜 이게 다예요. 나는
Interesting.
그냥 그 업체한테 가끔 법적 조언만 해주는 거라고.
Okay, sure, yeah. Interesting. She may not be lying if she is just running the service and she has no reason to get involved in any of the gang stuff. She didn't seem scared, but not like in a cocky way, if that makes sense.
윤배는 어떻게 됐대?
뭐 얘기 잘 끝났답니다.
Oh, okay.
거봐. 윤변이 깐깐해서 그렇지.
That's who she called. Okay, so Clean finances the graveyard. I think I've got that. There's so many things to connect in this show, guys. Oh my God.
심상원, 오라고 해.
아, 대표님 보러 오셨구나.
He just said that.
그지?
대리님 왜요?
Oh, wow. Okay.
얼른 이 새끼 꺼내서 치우라고.
Thank you. That is assault. Why would you touch him? So hot. So hot. That was just petty. Ma'am, where'd you go? Ma'am? No, why are you scared now?
아이 씨발 뭐야 다짜고짜.
Rude.
누구니?
나야, 남기준.
Naya. Like you should know.
아니 내가 왜 제일 중요한 인간을?
Yeah, exactly. Really?
아 씨.
Wow, I really thought he died, huh? Homie's having a glass of water. He said, let me hydrate before I kick your ass. Is it your wife? Sorry. The way you should have missed that call. Is it important right now? Why would you? The fact that you'd approach him after that. You deserve whatever you get, bro. You knocked yourself out on that one, bro. You ran into his fist, as far as I'm concerned.
야.
아,
미친냐? What? Sit up. Okay. Not these fake Neil.
저기 덮어라. 그럼 또 이해하고.
Look me in the eye and say it.
나 그냥 시키는 일만.
I feel like this happened because you've been a dumbass before.
시적으로 생각합시다. 예? 내가 왜 그 핏덩이에 새끼들을 보내겠습니까? 예? 상대가 남기석인데 내가 죽일 거면 진짜 전문가를 보냈지.
He's not wrong about that.
근데 진짜로 죽냐?
Yeah, that's actually a question you need to ask yourself. How did he actually die with a bunch of amateur kids?
이준아 너 잘 알잖아. 어? 이 바닥에 신령의 생명인 거.
Really? I think you should worry about who's in front of you right now.
그거 알게 되면 기술이 너도 곤란해져.
You think you'll live to see them? Yeah, exactly. Some people really don't be thinking, oh, my business will be done. Sir, you may not survive this room. You talk about business in the future. Gijun is a very singular man, isn't he? Man of few words, but singular purpose. I do wonder how far he can get on just brute strength, though.
아 이주원이 우리 살려두겠어요? 이참에 주원이랑 싹 정리하고
Really?
김상이랑 완전히 손을 잡는 거.
시끄러워.
Maybe you should just leave town and not get involved in a gang war.
그래 이 새끼야. 어? 나도 이제 모르겠으니까 니들이 싸지를 또 니들이 치워.
Interesting.
야, 뭐 욕을 하고 그래.
After you answered the phone the way you did a couple.
잔대가리 굴리지 말고 똑바로 대답해. 씨발 확
Whoa, language.
친 거 기준 형이 알아 몰라.
그럼 내가 뭘 어떻게 하라고?
He's like, I'm a rat. What do you expect? Right? He's like, I didn't want to die.
남기준을 감당할 수 있어, 새끼들아?
Exactly. Talking all that smack. Yeah, see? No response. His face. He's like, whew. This is how cockroaches keep surviving.
우리가 이렇게 지는 게 뭐 때문인지.
Indeed, what did?
그래.
This is what ended the war?
건든 자는 반드시 대가를 치러야 한다는 규칙.
Is this a truce?
빙빙 돌리지 말고 본론부터 말해.
I think you already know.
설령 그게 자네 아들이라도 예외는 아니란 말이야.
Yep. If your son's a dumbass, he's a dumbass. Have you never seen John Wick?
심성환한테 의뢰를 했다네. 그래서 어젯밤 기준이가 앵클린을 작살냈고 내가 사실 확인도 안 했을까?
Right?
그 잘난 남기준이 싸움은 안 쳤어도 그딴 규칙 생길 일도 없었어.
How did he screw up?
감히 내 아들 목숨을 넘네.
Did he do that?
주먹 건들면
Did he do that? He said your son screwed up and ticked off a killer.
우리 얘기를 하자고 이 자리를 마련한 게 아니야. 말했잖아.
Yeah, you completely skimmed over the important part of that.
아직도 이해가 안 돼?
Right?
무슨 일이 벌어질지?
Right? Do I have to spell that out or are you that slow?
하나 계시지?
He's here. Hi. 안녕하세요, 여러분. No? No drink for me? All right, get my own chair then.
기석의 죽음과 무관하십니까?
야 남기준!
Who are you talking to?
하시는 겁니까?
Oh, the rule.
넌
Okay, he
이보다 떠난
knows.
사람이잖아. 규칙이가 뭐가 너랑은 상관없는 일이야.
Shush!
심정원하고 이 새끼들 우리가 알아서 해결할 테니까.
That's not what he meant, and you know it.
누군지는
Your son did it.
이미 알고 있으니까.
So there's no more hiding. What are we gonna do? And he just tried to tell you that, bro. So.
그럼 아무것도 하지 마시고 그냥 지켜만 보세요.
Correct.
주모사고 내가 다 책임질게. 원하는 거 있으면 다 말해. 카지노 아니면 면세점.
Your life.
아니 뭐
Your life.
남규준이 개판 치는 거 보고만 있지 말라고.
No, he didn't. Your son did. You.
우리가 이렇게 한원수는 오늘이 마지막.
Right? He's like, I'm already done with you. He was my heir apparent that died, remember?
뒷거로것들 자네한테 넘긴다고.
Interesting. How greedy are you, bro? Gi Jin is only going to leave you alone if you don't get involved. That's not enough. Still not enough.
왜요?
Sorry. He didn't teach you to block, bro?
그 새끼가 절 모욕했단 말입니다.
Oh, okay.
밑에 사람들 보는 앞에서.
Oh, so that's why you're going to start at a war?
지금 절 아무것도 아닌 병신으로 만드시잖아요.
No, you did that all on your own with this one.
그 인간들 마주치기 싫어서 바로 나왔지만 기석이 작업당한 거지. 그게 누군지도 아는 거고.
He knows you very well.
그래서 나 예전에 쓰던 배트 그게 필요해.
Oh, you have a weapon of choice. I see. It's kind of odd.
이것부터 가져가.
Oh, he's looking out for you. Yeah, no more limping.
네가 여기 왜요?
회장님께 드릴 말씀이 있습니다.
About?
네가? 그게 뭔데?
I mean, you're not the chairman.
구준모랑 부딪히고 그날 바로 당하신 거라니까요. 회장님도 이제 뭔가 하셔야 하는 거 아닙니까?
These young bloods just so quick to run to war.
근데 좋으시겠어요. 이제 곧 기석 형님 위치에 서실 테니까요.
Oh. T. He said it though, with his chest.
시장님,
Yeah, what are you doing exactly?
보기 좀 그래요. 진짜 득보다 실이 많습니까?
He's like, I'm listening. This one's interesting. He's playing an interesting little game right now. Wondering what he's up to. That man always looks good in a crisp white shirt.
형님 일이기도 하지만 제 일이기도 하다고요.
You worked for him. I'm his brother, but okay. Did you learn to lock your doors yet? Nope. Learn nothing. No.
구준모.
She's like, I'm gonna tell him right now, don't get out my car. But seriously, after that happened, I would never get in my car and not lock the door immediately. Not you putting out a hit on him for everyone to see. Got messy. Damn, how many people are in this graveyard, yo?
구준모 찾았습니다.
I don't think he's there anymore. And then you end the episode. Rude! We are about to get into more violence. I just know. Oh, there's more. There's more.
근데 회장님, 이게 끝이 아니라 시작일 수도 있습니다. 남기준이 떠나면서 만들어졌습니다. 이제 걔가
We need to know
돌아왔으니까
why he left.
구회장과 딜을 해서 이번 일을 그냥 쓱 덮고
And
넘어가든
take more
아니면
territory.
완전히 뒤집고 모든 걸 손에 넣든 뭐 어찌됐건 지금 판을 주도할 수 있는 건
Are you the reason why my man...
그러니까
Are you the
명심하십시오.
reason why Gi-jun has a cut Achilles?
제 말뜻 아시겠죠?
Wow, you sloppy. You don't even know your phone's bugged. What is he up to? I'm trying to figure out which side he's actually on. Working for the DA's office, but also in a criminal family, which everyone kind of high-key knows. What do we have here? An actual hard copy. What to do? So you have a search warrant for your uncle? Is that what I'm getting? What to do indeed. Interesting. Wow, there's so many layers to this. Like, how is this only 7 episodes? There's so much we're dealing with in such a short amount of time. Like, I feel like I'm getting fire hose information every episode of so many things and connections with this whole mess. And I feel like it's important. Like, I feel like I need to do one of those conspiracy charts, you know, with all the faces like they do in all the movies that the police have. Okay, here's the figureheads. Here's how they all connect because there's so much to keep track of, but I think I've got the main gist. If I miss some things during the reaction, please forgive me. Sometimes it's not till I rewatch that I catch some of the details that I miss while I'm watching the first time. But yeah, the main things to look at here, like, you know, it's giving me John Wick vibes in the sense of, you know, the son of a very powerful person who is a little too arrogant, a little too cocky, always trying to prove something, and who does something without consulting their dad because they want to be noticed by dad, or they're just so arrogant that they think they can never be touched. And then they find out, unfortunately, that they literally poked the devil. And that's what happened here. This Junmo kid, you know, okay, so here's what I think happened. Junmo did order, like, he used the graveyard, which we learned about this episode is basically like a black ops network for kids who are willing to do just about anything for money. And I said black ops, so I meant like a black market. That's the word I meant to say, a black market operation. And basically it looks like either gang will use these guys for usually probably lower level stuff. But in this case, we see that Junmo, because he was pissed, right? Because Gi-suk rightly slapped the shit out him for being rude. I think he hired them, and obviously he said, yes, try to kill them. But there's no way Gi-jun didn't know that Gi-suk is not someone to be messed with, right? And I thought there was something so poignant in this episode was when Gi-jun went to the N-Clean place and talked to that sleazy guy. When he said, like, it was just a bunch of kids, he's like, I'm surprised that Gi-suk died, right? So I think it's well known amongst this community that Gi-suk was no joke fighting, and we saw that in episode 1. So I'm thinking that if either Junmo was really just completely like oblivious to this, he didn't know that Gi-suk could fight for real, or he sent those guys to kill him, knowing that they wouldn't, but that it would like send a message, right? But the fact that he actually died was like, oh, okay, well, bonus, but not what I thought. And again, we know as an audience that it wasn't the kids who took him out. So anyway, we found out who was behind the original hit, which at this point, there's no reason for Gi-jun to believe that it wasn't these kids. But as I said, I'm hoping that what that guy said, the leader of N-Clean, I'm hoping it's going to plant a seed in Gi-jun's head. And maybe if not now, maybe somebody else will bring it up that, how did your brother, who fights almost, from the sounds of things, just as well as, if not damn near as well as you do, how did he let a bunch of untrained kids take him out? Like, unless they all jumped him at once, which, like I said during that episode, that like, come on, in real life, you go against someone that can fight that well, you're not going to go one at a time. You're going to jump him and hope that one of you is successful. But anyway, we'll go with the context of the movies where it's one at a time. There's no way your brother's going to lose to these kids, right? He did get stabbed. We saw that, but it wasn't a fatal wound, right? Or at least one that if he'd gotten immediate medical attention, he wouldn't have died, right? So what's happening? And we saw that in the morgue that his brother had been, cut around the neck. So that was not the wound that killed him, the back wound. So all that to say, I'm hoping that Gi-jun figures out that something's amiss with the kids, right? That the fact that these kids, being amateurs, should not have been able to take out his brother. There's another element here. But I get it. At this point, he's going with what he's got, right? And I said this in the episode, Gi-jun is very, thus far, it's very now, the Gi-jun of now is very straight-laced, to the point. He doesn't BS. He says only what needs to be said, and he moves on his way. Like there's nothing. He's like a bulldozer. Like there's no nuance to what he's doing right now, right? He's like, I'm doing what I need to do. And if you get in my way, God help you, right? And I say he's this way now because we saw in episode 1, at the very, very beginning, we got a flashback and he seemed very different. He was cracking jokes. He was smiling. He seemed very lighthearted. He looked like he was having fun in that fight that we saw him in. So something happened 11 years ago, as they mentioned, that I think changed him into what we see now, this kind of shell of who I think he could be. And something, they've alluded to it multiple times in this episode, whenever this rule was instated about both sides staying on their own side of the territory, and if anyone messes up or screws up, that they got to pay with their life or something equivalent. They said it was because of Gi-jun. So what does that even mean? And remember, we heard back in episode 1 that Gi-jun had done something that garnered getting his Achilles cut, and then he was told to basically act as if he was dead. And then he's supposed to be out of the business. So the incident of 11 years ago is definitely going to have to come up. Like there's no way we can't hear about that in this episode or in this season, because they wouldn't mention it this many times and give us that flashback and all those things without wanting to tell us how this incident has a ripple effect to now. But either way, what I took from that, especially in that last conversation between the other side, you know, the guy who was going to make Gi-suk his heir apparent. I believe he had nothing to do with and had no idea what was going to happen to Gi-suk. I do believe he knew nothing about that. However, I'm starting to think maybe he had something to do with what happened to Gi-jun all those years ago. And he's managed to somehow keep that quiet because, you know, like I said, Gi-jun is not the kind of guy who's looking at conspiracy theories. You know what I mean? He looks to me like he's very much like what he sees is what he gets and what he believes unless you give him otherwise. So I don't know, but that's the sense I'm getting, right? That something happened that screwed over Gi-jun all those years ago and got him taken out of the game. And obviously, as the guy on the phone just said, Homie, I should really get his name, but yes, he ended up really getting a lot out of it, right? He took quite a bit, or he gained a lot from that. So anyway, now that it's all out there, who ordered the hit, and the fact that Gi-jun is basically off his leash, and I love that everyone is viscerally scared of this man. It's very John Wick, right? Like he is the Baba Yaga. Like Gi-jun is the Oni, is the Kemuri. He's like the everything, the nightmare of these people, right? They are scared. Like the fear they have on him, it's like they don't even think he's human. Like he can't be killed. Right. So that's something else. So the fact that they know that they've now awakened the Kraken after how many years, you know, we see that the dude, the one who owns the gallery, he's like, I don't want any part of this. Right. He's like, I don't want a war because we're going to lose too much with it. Right. And it's interesting that he said that because in the episode, the first thing I thought is that, you know, young people who've never experienced what war is like or the ramifications of war, they're always so quick to think that it's not that big of a deal. But people, especially as you get older and you start to realize that your life is starting to have less mileage in front of it than behind you, people start to get different perspective on what's important. And we already heard the guy who was running Ju-on say that, you know, even if you try to build your hotel franchise now, you're not going to live long enough to see it. And I don't know if that's just because he's older or because maybe there's another health issue. I'm thinking it might be a combination of both. But either way, homie's old is the point. I shouldn't say old. He's old enough to realize that getting into a gang war that could potentially span years is not the way he wants to spend his twilight years. He'd rather just amass more wealth, live comfortably, and feel like he's leaving a legacy behind from the sounds of things. So that's why he doesn't want to go to war. Also, I think he feels like they might lose. Like you said, he's going to lose men. He's going to lose ground. He can't guarantee the outcome, so he doesn't really want to take the gamble at this point. But obviously, we've got Gi-jun in the mix running amok, quite literally, right? He is literally just slicing and dicing his way through these people. And he knows that if something isn't done about Gi-jun, there is going to be a war, right? Because he's planning to go straight to Ju-on's door, right up into Junmo's bed and smack him around a bit before he takes him out, right? Like he don't give a damn. So he knows that that's what, and also he knows that the people on his side are upset about the fact that this, you know, that their heir apparent was taken out, and they know now that it was a direct strike from the other side. So he doesn't want that, right? He's like, if I can figure out a way to get this situation where I get something out of it and there doesn't have to be a war, that's his ideal outcome, right? So we see that he did the meeting with the leader of Ju-on and he said, listen, you know the rule. And at that point in time, he was like, you need to follow the rule. Like if you don't want this to turn into a war, either you got to give up your life or give up your kid, one or the other, because the cat's out the bag. There's no hiding for you anymore, right? And we see that homie, you know, of course, Ju-on was all talk and all, oh, I'm going to make you pay for what you said, until death on two legs walked in, until the Grim Reaper walked in the room, looking sexy as hell, and sat down, poured his own drink and said, I'm going to give you one more chance. You sure there's nothing I need to know? Nothing? And when he didn't say nothing, he said, okay, well, let me tell you, I already know there's something. So what you gonna do? You gonna follow the rule, or do I have to really grow my wings and horns and do what I have to do? And so anyway, of course he didn't say nothing in front of, you know what's that? Oh, Mr. Ju-on with all that talk, he ain't nothing. He real quiet. He tried saying Gi-jun's name 2 times. Gi-jun said, I don't hear nothing. I'm deaf in this ear. Didn't say nothing because he knew that if he knew he tried it too much, Gi-jun would have ended him right there and went for his son anyway, because that's how scared they are of him. So as we see, he's scared. He knows this is not going to end well. He doesn't want his son to die. I'm assuming it's his only child. But even if it wasn't, like I understand a parent not wanting their child to die, either their child is clearly a repeated screw up. And he goes, and of course he gets mad at his son and smacks him around. But I'm like, what are you even doing this for? Your son wouldn't be doing this if you actually raised him right. Really, if you really raised him right, he would have known better than to do something this stupid. And of course we see in the end, he wasn't even like upset. He was just kind of like, oh, it's because you don't pay attention to me. Oh, it's because you make me feel small. And then his dad's like, oh yeah, well, if you don't want to die, don't do anything stupid again. And again, I'm telling you, Junmo is not taking this seriously yet. He still isn't. Because I think he made that joke back in episode 1, which is what earned him the slap, basically diminishing Gi-jun, right? Because I'm not sure the ages of these people, but Junmo looks to me like he's in his late 20s, maybe at most, which means my point is my guess is that when Gi-jun was in his prime, Junmo was probably too young and probably not even involved enough to know just how much of a demon Gi-jun actually is. So that's why he feels safe talking smack. But now that he hears about this, I mean, he's gonna have to see the repercussions. His dad's clearly been cushioning him from it, but you know, the time is gonna come when he's gonna be really face to face with how badly he screwed up. But anyways, now we know that Ju-won is desperate, right? He told the other dude that I will give you my hotel, which is his money laundering front. He's like, if you do that, it's like, if you take that, he's like, then I just need you to take care of this for me, right? Because he knows that Gi-jun and him have a relationship. So he didn't see him say no to the deal. And I do think he's mulling it over because like the guy said, you're not gonna live long enough to do this on your own. I could give you another big property. It's going to be, you know, good for your business in exchange for my son's life. But that is going to invite the devil into his own house if he does that, right? Because right now we heard Gi-jun. Gi-jun's like, as long as you stay out of it, the guy that he knows is innocent of his brother's death at this point, he's like, if you stay out of it, I'm not going to do anything. You follow the rule, I won't do anything. But if you don't, or if you get involved, all bets are off and God help you both. So the point is, we know that this show's not gonna let it go to bed quietly, right? Clearly, I think Homie is gonna take the deal with the idea of, I think his plan is to say he's gonna take care of Gi-jun, but not do it, and instead try to light a fire under Gi-jun to go and take out his competition. Right? Because we heard the guy on the phone telling him, you can take it all. You have the opportunity of literally basically no more Crips and Bloods. You can have all of Seoul if you play this right. So I think that's what he's probably going to try to do and try to use Gi-jun as a pawn in the middle of it. And I feel like it's not the first time he's done that and let Gi-jun take the fall for it. And that's why we need to know what happened 11 years ago. This is all me extrapolating because again, we've only been given bits and pieces of info. But I feel like something like that is what happened. And I feel like in the course of this, Gi-jun's going to find out the truth about a lot of things. Because I remember back in episode 1, I said the guy that was sitting beside him looked to me like he might betray Gi-jun. I feel like something about that all trails back to Homie who owns the gallery, but we'll have to see. So that's kind of all of the strings that are being pulled right now. We had a great action scene again with Gi-jun in the end cleaner's place. Like, these guys were all dummies, but I'm loving the fighting style that they're giving him. Like I said, I love that they incorporate the fact that he can't really move his body the same as somebody who has 2 legs that work exactly the same. I love that they show that in all the moves he does, he's so planted because he can't really move. And if you go back to episode 1, it was very different, right? He was much more ambulant, what's the word I'm looking for? He was much more agile. I was gonna say ambulant, but anyways, yeah, he's much more agile. He was moving around a lot more, but obviously he's had to adapt to having the injury. So I just love that they showed that his fighting style has adapted as well. And like, you'd think that they would have dulled after 11 years, but clearly not. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on there. And then the only other piece of information we got was that the the other guy, the gallery owner, has a nephew, I believe they said it is, who is working right now for the prosecutor's office, and everyone knows who his family is, or maybe it's just that one guy, but I feel like everyone must know who he is. Maybe not, because if it is a nephew, you may not have the same name. Either way, that guy in the prosecutor's office knows about him and is basically like, look, you've been here a while, you're to the point where you should be able to move up, but that's never going to happen because I know, and I guess there must be some other people in the prosecutor's office who are probably higher up, they know who you're related to, and we can't be sure that you're not just here to basically corrupt our department where he's concerned. So he basically said, look, I am watching you and you need to make a choice. You're either going to be, you're going to cut ties with that side of your family and really be like in the prosecutor life, or you're going to play this role for a little bit longer and then just go over and work for your, just go work for your uncle like everyone expects you to do. I mean, you've kind of done your time here. You've got the knowledge, you've done, you made your degree worth it, basically. So yeah, interesting note about that particular character. And like we saw at the end, he is listening in on his uncle's calls. He is watching everything around the house. But what end, right? Is he really going to turn on him, or is he actually looking to potentially bring him down? What are the ramifications? Can he bring him down? And does that make sense when that's like obviously a lot of money and access for him? So yeah, like I said, a lot in this episode. I know I didn't cover all the things, but those are the main things that kind of stood out to me. And now, yeah, we're going to see our guy show up. He showed up at the hotel. And again, I don't know if Junmo is actually there. I mean, they said that that's where his location was, But yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be a lot like John Wick. I don't think we're losing Junmo that quickly. I think it's going to be a narrow escape, but it's going to have a ripple effect for sure that Lee-jun went straight into enemy territory and smacked some people around, right? We know that he said he'd do nothing, and now he's doing just that. He's doing something. So yeah, another good episode. I enjoyed it. Like I said, this is a lot deeper than I expected, but I'm loving the combination of the action and the actual like deeper storyline that's happening. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, show some love, and I'll see you in the next one.